Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Ryan, the host of the Rocky Series podcast, Going the Distance. Do not change the dial of your podcast feed. As you'll notice, the podcast feed has changed. It is now called the Sylvester Stallone Fan Podcast Network. Some of you might already know why it's called this or have figured it out. Well, let me just explain what's happened. The Rocky Series podcast, Going the Distance, the Rocky Series podcast, whatever we call ourselves, we are going to continue the shows as per normal. What's going to happen on your podcast feed starting like very soon, I think the first episode from a different podcast will be dropping on this feed, is on Sunday. So what's happening is, we've talked about this before, and those who are regular listeners of the show are aware that Doug of the Rocky Minute podcast and Craig of Slycast, we've done collaborations, right? We talked about ourselves being a podcast network, but we never really did anything physical or about it. It was more of just a philosophy than an actual merger. So basically that's what we've done, is we have now merged our three Sylvester Stallone centric podcasts together. The Rocky Minute podcast will now be on this feed, as well as the Slycast. Most of you, I would say the majority of you who are currently listening to this very episode, are already aware of those shows or have already listened to them on their respective feeds. But the Slycast feed is no longer, and the Rocky Minute feed is no longer. Both of those feeds will be under this, the Sylvester Stallone Fan Podcast Network feed, okay? And what you'll notice in your podcast feed is the episode titles will say Going the Distance, and then whatever episode it is, or it will say Slycast, hyphen, whatever the episode is, or it will say Rocky Minute, whatever the episode is. And so the shows and the quality or lack of will not change, meaning Rocky Minute will still be Rocky Minute, Slycast will be Slycast, and Going the Distance will be Going the Distance. And so none of those things will change. Think of us like a TV channel. So let's say you're an HBO watcher or CBS or Fox or whatever cable TV show is your favorite, right? Or TV network is your favorite. It doesn't mean you watch every show. So we don't expect you necessarily to listen to every episode of every podcast. But maybe you like all three, maybe you only like one. Maybe the Rocky Minute listeners don't want to listen to Slycast, and I know there's Slycast listeners who don't like me, and that's fine. This is just an opportunity for everyone to hear everything Sylvester Stallone related. This is truly a Sylvester Stallone fan podcast network, okay? So for seasons 1 and 2 of Rocky Minute, those are going to be uploaded pretty fast and furious because Doug has already, has released them on his old network. He was part of what was called the Dueling Genre Network. So you'll hear in those seasons 1 and 2, which cover Rockies 1 and 2, you'll hear talk about dueling genre. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. I don't want Doug to go through every single episode and edit out those promos for Dueling Genre. And they can stay in too, because we have nothing but good feelings for Dueling Genre. What they do is they're basically they're a network too. They're a network that does movies minute by minute, and Doug follows that format for the Rocky Minute show. But Doug wanted to come over to this network because it's more obviously in his wheelhouse of his show, and he has more of a collaboration here than maybe the Dueling Genre. So that's what's happened over there. But starting season 3 for Doug, the Rocky Minute season 3, that will be exclusively new episodes that will be a part of this network. Slycast as well has a great library on their old feed, which is still there for you to access, is my understanding, but all further episodes will be only uploaded to here, to this feed that you're listening to this episode in. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email us at, get ready for this, write this down. That's right. We actually have an email. It will go to all three shows. Our old emails are still in place for the three respective shows. So Rocky Minute has a Gmail, Slycast has a Gmail, and Going the Distance has a Gmail. So all those Gmails are still in place for people to message. Their Facebook pages are still in place. Their Twitters are still in. Nothing has changed. Like nothing. The only thing that's changed is we have combined our efforts. But if you want to send an email to the network, we do have a network email. That is StallonePodNetwork@gmail.com. Stallone, P-O-D, network@gmail.com. So there you go. That's basically what's happening. So if you have any questions about what the heck is going on, send us an email, tweet us, DM us on Facebook. I don't think anyone's listening to this that doesn't know how to get a hold of us. Well, I just want to say sorry. Ryan here wants to say that Doug and Craig, they're amazing podcast hosts. They're better than me. They're amazing at what they do. They have incredible content, interviews, analysis, guest hosts. I'm really excited to merge our 3 shows together into one big show, one big network. At the end of the day, even if everyone jumps ship and doesn't want to listen to this feed anymore, I've made some really great friends out of being a podcast host. So there you go. Doug and Craig, they are truly good people, good friends, and I'm looking forward to working with them and collaborating with them. As far as Going the Distance goes, yeah, everything's continuing. So this is now for Going the Distance listeners in particular. I really appreciate the patrons. If you want to be a patron, to be a part of that community, I really appreciate it. It helps, pay for the feed, which has now increased in hosting the two further podcasts. So the hosting fees have increased. Appreciate and thank those who have contributed to the feed and to the show and to the community. Also, Kyle and I have finished recording all of Rocky Balboa. So episodes that are coming out, they're banked, right? So they're a little bit behind. So our emails, if you have emailed the show, we will be reading them, or they have already been recorded. You just haven't heard us respond to them yet. So just keep in mind, whenever you do email us, it's a little bit of like 1 to 4 weeks before your email comes out, just due to how many shows we bank. And for the record, yes. So you'll hear me talk about the Rambo, Rocky debate and all that stuff. We are going to cover the Creed films in the same manner that we've covered Rockies 1 through 6. So if you hear any future discussions about, the humming and hawing that Ryan me has about it, it's been resolved, or it's been confirmed. It's just now this is like today's recording. It's just, again, the episodes that you're going to hear after this might sound like I'm flip-flopping. I'm not. It's just in the past recordings, okay? So for the record, what we're doing is on May 29th, I think I might have said May 30th before, but May 29th, Friday, we are doing a Rocky Balboa or Season 6 wrap-up. And if you're a patron, you can join us live. I'll send you a link live to our feed, so you can join us live, and you can have, like, in our Zoom meetings. So you can come in, say hi, or Google meeting. I haven't decided which meeting we're doing yet. But anyways, you come in and say hi. I'll provide that link. If you're a patron, you can come in, talk to us live during the recording. If you want to send an email, and we've already got a couple, so thank you. If you want to send us an email that you want us to read on that wrap-up show, call it Rocky Balboa Wrap-Up. That's what you want to title it, and I'll read it on that episode for May 29th. And email us at gtdwithrr@gmail.com. We're really looking forward to that. And on May 22nd, just so you know, we are recording our Bloodsport. This was a Patreon. If you pledge $5 or more on Patreon, we will do a one-off episode on any movie that you ask us to do that's, kind of related to the Stallone family, and Bloodsport certainly is, since Jean-Claude and Stallone had started a movie together. So we are going to do Bloodsport. Kyle's never seen it before, and we'll be reviewing Bloodsport. But that episode won't be released on the feed until after the Rocky Balboa coverage and the Rocky wrap-up. Okay. Oh, P.S. If you are a YouTube listener of the show, this is the last episode that will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, Going the Distance. All future episodes will be loaded up onto, and you just have to, on YouTube, search Stallone Podcast, and we come up, the Stallone Podcast Network. You'll see a whole bunch of subscribers already there. We're already at 13, almost 1,400 subscribers, so we're gearing up to go for a successful show. All right, I think that's everything. We really are excited about this merger. It's happening. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, let us know on Twitter and Facebook what you think. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Ding, ding.